Topical back to another video. I'm Strange Wang. It's a brand new year. You know what that means? It means we're doing top 10 best of the year. My 10 favorite movies from 2020. And with that being said, these are my personal favorite movies. Not saying they're the best movies because I haven't seen everything. And with COVID and whatnot, it wasn't a great year for movies. So let's get into it. Throw that to the side. My number 10 will be Bankers. This movie is fantastic. It's small. It's lovable. The characters are lovable. The plot's lovable. The shysters. There's shysters with a message, fighting the power, fighting the man, and fighting racism at the same time. And they're doing it through shysting. Shysting isn't all bad. There's some good in shysting. This movie shows it, which is why I like it. My number 9 is Enola Holmes. I really thought I was going to hate this movie. I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch that and love it. Sure. I saw the Rotten Tomatoes score. I was like, believe that when I see it. And I watched it, and I had so much fun. I had more fun with Enola Holmes than I have with the last few MCU movies. And usually people are like on the edge of their seat having so much fun, talking to the screen, talking to the movie. This is how I was with Enola Holmes. I was so invested in this movie and I had such a great time. It had to make my top 10 of the year. My number 8 is Sound of Metal. This movie is deep. It puts you in someone else's shoes, someone's shoes that I would never want to be in, because I love my hearing. I love music. Not as much as this guy. I love hearing movies. But to be in his shoes and to try to understand what he's going through is mind-blowing. And Riz Ahmed, that performance elevates the movie so high. I think this is a good movie, but because Riz Ahmed's in it and his performance, I think it makes it a great movie, and is the reason why it's number 8 on my list.
Makes sense.
My number 7 is going to be Bad Education. Bad Education is a phenomenal dramedy, crime drama, comedy, I guess. Not really. There's a lot of moving parts to this movie, and they're all very, very fun and enjoyable. And Hugh Jackman in this movie, honestly, probably my favorite performance of him all year. Again, we got more shysters. Nothing Strange Wang loves more than embezzlement. I love it. I eat, sleep, drink, eat, embezzlement.
What?
I really enjoy this movie. Like I said before, a lot of turning parts. You got great performances all around. You got a fun plot to sink your teeth into, and you got a layered plot to sink your teeth into as well, with phenomenal dialogue. Must see. I hate that it went to, what is it, HBO Max? HBO, because not a lot of people will see it. I would love to saw this in a theater, a wide release on Blu-ray, but I digress. My number 6, I did see in a movie theater, and a lot of other people did too, because it had to go to theaters. It is Tenet. A lot of people thought this movie was very overrated. I did not. I loved it. I loved it more than Inception. I feel like Chris Nolan made this movie for me. He was holding my hand throughout the viewing experience. All the twists and turns. I was on the edge of my seat. I got it. Everything clicked for me. I came out that movie like people probably came out in The Matrix or Inception in the years those films came out. I fucking loved it. I felt moved. I felt changed. I just had such a burning sensation. No, that sounds terrible.
Ew.
I just have a fire for cinema. And since it was so long since I was out of a theater because of COVID, to get back in a theater and get such a good movie right off the top, like Tenet, I couldn't ask for a better movie to start off my movie theater experience with for 2020. My number 5 is something I didn't have to go to the theater to see, and it is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Performances.
Wonderful.
Just how well written this movie is, and how it doesn't do a lot, but with doing not a lot, you're doing so much more. And the symbolism in this film and the character dialogue between each character is different because you're not going to talk to your boss the same way you talk to an employee, to you talk to a manager, to assistant manager, to someone who's under you. So the change of the dialogue that much I thought was fantastic. They really hit the times and really hit these points and the viewpoint of the wise and the young and the eagerness and the hunger versus the not bitterness but the drive to stay on top, and how this film is so layered and written again. This is a phenomenal movie without the performances, but when you add the performances in there, it puts it over the top and makes an incredible viewing experience. Something I'm gonna rewatch 2021, 2022, 2023,
6.5 hours later.
2049, 2050, years to come. You get the point. My number 4 has a very powerful point, and I love the way it was executed in this promising young woman. This movie was dark, and I love this darkness. It was funny when it needed to be funny, and it did a good job of switching those tones and balancing them. Because, yeah, I laughed 5 minutes ago, but I feel very uncomfortable right now, and I feel like my skin's crawling off of me. So, to hold the tone throughout the film perfectly, I thought it worked. For a lot of people, I could see how it didn't work. But for me, it worked very well. The performances, again, very well. The dialogue, extremely well. Because she's really like Batman. She's living a secret life. She's living a double life. And to convert those tones and whatnot, and where the story's going and where it goes, and the ending, the bold ending it takes, and all the bold moves it takes inside this film alone, I had to put it on my list for the top 10 best of the year. And that's my number 4. My number 3 will be On the Rocks. You got, honestly, Bill Murray's best movie in years. I love Bill Murray in this movie. He is incredible. I just love how Sofia Coppola, how she, like, minus Godfather 3, has these such amazing stories with these, like, unpredictable, realistic endings that you can really sink your teeth into, because you're like, yeah, it's a movie, but it's also directed by Sofia Coppola, so I don't know where this is going to go. I've seen Lost in Translation. You know, you don't know what to expect. It keeps showing you toes like a ballerina. Well, that's what I love about this movie, because the dialogue could go either way. The performances make you believe that this film could go either way, and everything in this film is fucking awesome. And you sprinkle on Bill Murray, peak Bill Murray-ness, like, dude hasn't lost a step from Ghostbusters. He is incredible, charming. I'm not saying this is the best performance of the year, but me, Strange Wayne, personally, favorite performance of the year was Bill Murray in this movie. He was incredible, like I said before. Just, without his performance, this film might not even be on the list, but I love Bill Murray so much in this movie, and it fit and complemented everything so much in this movie that I had to put it very high on my list. My number 2 is going to be the only animated film on my list, and it is Soul. To really hit you with a premise we've seen before, we've hear all the time. Stop, smell the roses, look what's around you, and embrace and enjoy and appreciate it, because life not promised tomorrow, and life isn't promised tomorrow, and he found that out very quickly. And it takes, I think, to put that in a kids movie, the dying and passing away, I think that really adds another element to it. It adds layers with the characters, and seeing another perspective about how this person sees the world, and how kids, because 22 is a kid, he's obviously a grown-ass man, see how those complement each other, but in his teaching experiences of 22, how much she's teaching him and how much she's learning from her. So without the message of, yeah, wake up, smell the roses, because you need to do that, it adds another powerful message into that. And to me, that complemented very well. This couple times, Strange Wang almost teared up and cried, but it didn't get me to that point, which may be why it didn't get to my number 1 spot. But my number 1 spot didn't make me cry, and it is The Trial of the Chicago 7. This film did more than make me cry. It made me laugh. It made me angry to the point I was yelling at the TV, the judge in particular, and I was just so full of hatred because, but there was other moments where I was very, very happy with this film. I was very happy with the direction it was going. When they was winning, you were winning, and when they were losing, you were losing this battle in Chicago. And it just, I compared this investment to this movie almost to Jaws, something like an Ex Machina. And for a film that's mostly a court drama to really push me into that and put me there and give me so much investment, I was mind blown by this. And you just have so many different conflicts inside the film. Obviously, they're on trial, so there's one conflict. The judge, he's kind of dirty, so there's one conflict. Michael Keaton's character comes in, that's another conflict. And the conflict within the seven themselves, and then the lawyer, and then just Aaron Sorkin, his dialogue is off the charts incredible. You pair that with some of the best performances of the year with Seven and On Trial and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That boy's good!
And just the whole entire cast really knocks it out of the park. And just, it stays competitive with Aaron Sorkin's dialogue. You know, like, it's right there with it. One while the other wouldn't work. But this movie works on all cylinders. And honestly, it's a perfect movie in my opinion. And the only movie that I can say that I loved. If this thing was on Blu-ray, I'll buy it tomorrow. I'll shoot a bootlegger.
Damn!
2020 wasn't a great year, but it had some good, consistently good movies in it. Some I didn't mention: The Five Bloods, Freaky, The Way Back, Get Duped, Broken Hearts Gallery. There's just a couple that could have made a list but did not. Tell me your top 10 down in the comment section below. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe.